Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Bonus video this week. Usually only do 4 a week, but we've managed to find some time to do a 5th one this week. Let's not talking about Agents of the Imperium. That should be coming tomorrow. For those of you who will come and sit here and watch the 40k videos I put out, I'll be talking about what's been happening over the last couple of weeks tomorrow. But anyway, this isn't the card I was going to do tonight, I'll be honest. I was going to be looking at one of the Final Fantasy cards, but I'm still thinking about it. But I did get challenged, because the Final Fantasy card is another one of the challenges, but I got challenged by one of my moderators to put together a Lily Bowen Raging Grandma deck. And yeah, this is what I've come up with. So, for those of you who don't know, Lily Bowen comes from originally the Fallout set. As someone commented the other week, if hopefully the same person will read this and give me a bit of background on Lily Bowen, I know nothing about the Fallout series at all. But this one, Vigilance, comes into play with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, we get to double the amount of +1/+1 counters on it if Lily Bowen's power is less than 16. Otherwise, remove all but one of the +1/+1 counters on it, and we gain that much life from Lily Bowen. Right, so it's a green creature that gets really big, then gets really small, then really big and really small. Whether that's related to Fallout or not, I don't know, but hey, it's a fun card. Here we go, and here's how I built it. So, starting at the beginning, oh, this is level 2, by the way. This is just that low level, but it's good fun. So, Planeswalkers, we have 2 Freyleys to give us some elves to help us cast Lily Bowen and to take out some artifacts and enchantments if we're getting annoyed. And we have Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. The plant tokens help us have some blockers, but the -2 to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature seemed like a cunning plan to me with Lily Bowen. Then we have a lot of creatures, and I do mean a lot. Starting with which, we've got Lurious Shepherd to make sure we can just get everyone into play. Birds of Paradise for some ramp, then Elvish Mystic for some more ramp. Goldvein Hydra comes into all of my green decks nowadays. Get it killed off, get the treasure tokens is fine. Otherwise you've got a really big Vigilance Trampling Hasty creature. Llanowar Elves is in, Bristling Bills in to chuck around some more +1/+1 counters. We do have an elf sub-theme, so Priest of Titania is here, Evolution Sage is here to help us proliferate. Evolution Witness also makes an appearance to return things from our graveyard to our hand. From there, Cameo of the Whispered Hopes to get extra +1/+1 counters, then hopefully get a whole mana bump. Kodama of the West Tree, might as well have it in here to get the lands out. Mossborn Hydra, again, counters, and the landfall triggers are fun. Nissa, Resurgent Animus, gives us some mana and then an elf for an elemental when we do it the second time. Nissa, Vastwood Seer is also in as well. Have this way to get the land when it comes into play. And then hopefully flip it into the Planeswalker version as well so we can get the Elemental 4/4 out. Yeah, should be fun. We have a mount in Orrery Tumblewag because this makes sense. We mount this up, we saddle this creature up, and then we attack with them, and they double the +1/+1 counters on a creature. Now, if you've got Lily sitting at sort of like 14 counters, doubling it up to 28 is exceptional. Just so we're clear, hence why it's here. Beast Whisperer to give us some card draw. Because we have got so many elves, it makes sense to have Dionys in the deck. As anyone knows who watches me on stream regularly, when I'm a bit bored, I'm a bit fed up, or I just want to have some fun to finish a stream off, Dionys is my go-to deck at the moment, so yay. Rampant Rejuvenate is here to get us the basic lands when it dies. Aegis Entity, we gain life, we get that many +1/+1 counters on here. So, you know, Lily having the 16 or 15 counters taken off puts 15 +1/+1s on here, which, yeah, yes, it's easy to block because it hasn't got trample, but, yeah, gives people a bit of a headache. Brylos of the Fears Band is also in as well. Power and toughness equal to the amount of lands we control. And when it attacks, we get to draw, put a land into battlefield from our hand. Defiler of Vigor chucks around even more +1/+1 spells counters as we play our green creatures. Overlord of the Hauntwoods had to be here. Just, you know, the everywhere land's irrelevant really. Might as well just say a land token named Forest for this deck. But, you know, it helps. Verdurous Gearhulk chucks around loads of +1/+1 counters, and then Vorinclex, hopefully we get to get the 2 forests, put them in our hand, and then transform them so we can do the whole grand evolution bit and have mill the cards, creatures into play, distribute the +1/+1 counters, and do a lot of fighting to clear the board off. From there, Lumara, Bellow of the Woods is here. We get to mill 4 cards and return all our lands. That's fine by me. Regal Behemoth, I just like being the mana monarch and having the extra ability for extra mana is always fun. Suruk and Goreclaw gives our creatures +1/+1 and haste, or +1/+1 counter, I should say, and haste and trample. So it does get around some of the shortfalls, especially with Aegis Entity. Vigor's just stupid. We all know this card, we all love this card, and some of us hate facing this card, but it's here today. Dawnglade Regent, again, I just like being the monarch, and as long as we're the monarch, all our permanents have hexproof, which is a nice way of keeping them in play. Nyx Bloom Ancient to really treble up on the mana production, and then Old Gnawbone, because who doesn't like a dragon that gives you treasure tokens? Sorceries, a little bit of fun. Awaken the Woods is in to give us some more creatures. Rampant Growth for a little bit of let's go find some basic lands along with Ranger's Path and Sky Shroud Claim. And then Shamanic Revelation for some more life gain and card draw that we might need. 2 instants. Worldly Tutor, interestingly, isn't a game changer. It's not seen that way, so it goes and gets you a creature you need. And then I had a bit of fun with Evolution Charm. You don't see this card very often. I quite like the charms, and this one I don't mind so much. It goes and gets us a basic land and puts it in our hand, which a bit slow, but it does go and do that for us at instant speed, which is nice. Or we can return a creature card from our graveyard to our hand, or we could give something flying. Yeah. A green spell that gives a creature flying. We haven't seen that for a long, long time now, but it's still here. Artifacts, a little bit of ramp, a little bit of extra stuff. So we've got Mox Tantalite, and then we've got the Glow Cap Lantern. Whenever we attack, we may look at the quick creature as we look. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and whenever this creature attacks, you get to explore. So that's nice. Lava Spur Boots gives Lily a little bit of protection. Soul Ring and Arcane Signet for a bit of ramp, not too much. Armory of Ironis, is here to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature when it attacks. Lightning Greaves gives us the Haste and Shroud, again to protect Lily. And the Ring of Calonia. I think people forget about these ones from M13. This one's nice. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on a crit creature if it's green. It also chucks around Trample. Makes Lily a threat. A nice threat. The boots are here as well for some hexproof and haste. The Trailblazer boots are here to give us a way to get Lily to punch through and maybe do it with combat damage if we need to. Bone Sabers in whenever a quick creature attacks. Put 4 +1/+1 counters on it. You can't beat this for 40k land. It's expensive. It's 3 to cast, 3 to equip. I'm aware of that. But +4 1/1 counters on a creature? Yeah, okay then. I'm happy with that plan. The Cloak's here as well, so Lily can't be blocked. And then we've got Helm of the Host. We can make multiple Lilies if we need to. And then a little bit of fun. We had the Ether Spark come in just to chuck around small +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, draw the cards, or add 10 mana of green. Enchantments are what you'd expect to see in a deck that really likes +1/+1 counters. So Hardened Scales, Innkeeper's Talent, Branching Evolution. The Call to a Garenbrig gives us another way of becoming the Monarch, and then we can chuck around +1/+1 counters. Hydra's Growth just puts +1/+1 counters on a creature, then we get to double them. That's nice. Stack them in the right way so Lily resolves first. Okay, I haven't got any plus. I've only got 15 +1. I've got. That's not going to do anything. Oh no, I'll double up to 30. Okay, that's fine. Lily stays in play. Just get your triggers the right way around. Sylvan Scavenging to more +1/+1 counters or raccoon tokens. Tribute to the World Tree will chuck even more +1/+1 counters on Lily Bowen because you come in as a 2/2. So, you know, 4/4 with this in play. Court of Bounty, just because, again, I like being the Monarch, and this gives me a way of getting the lands out of my library into play. I will stop being tongue-tied, I promise. Doubling Season for more fun and games with +1/+1 counters, and then Grand Inheritance because I wanted to play the enchantment that I haven't played for a while, and I quite like the idea of chucking around monster roll tokens on anything. So, yay, and it comes back to our hand if it goes to the graveyard. Fine by me. The lands are really simple. 35 of them. 34 forests and 1 homeward path because I really don't want my creatures getting nicked and used against me in this deck. And that's it. Lily Bowen, the Raging Grandma. I just think it's a fun deck. It's not going to be a serious competitive one at any stage. I'm sure there are ways of making it a lot more serious, a lot more competitive. I know I could have put in both versions of the Ozolith. You can take some of the other cards out and put in the Ozolith that you want to, but yeah, I want to have something that was a little bit more powered and a little bit more casually fun. So that's why I went with Lily Bowen. So, hope you've enjoyed this one. Like I say, bonus video for this week. I don't usually do 5 in a week, but I have done this week just to get this done. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, do all those things that help me appease the YouTube algorithm. I'd really appreciate it. Likewise, if you actually want to see me play Lily Bowen, I'll be playing them probably over on the weekend stream on Sunday. So, link down below to Twitch. Come give me a follow over there. There's 273 there. So, the more the merrier on Twitch if you want to watch me play these decks on MTGO. But that's it for now. I am trying to sort the mic out, so I'm sorry if this sounds a bit tinny. I'm waiting for a new lovely foam thing to come that fits on the mic. So I've worked out the problems with the room now I've moved. So hopefully that will resolve that. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Take care. And yeah, hopefully I'll meet you on stream very soon. Have a good one. Bye.